Okay, so this is our creative Roxanne, and she joined earlier in the summer, so a few months ago, and she's made some great progress inside the Four Creatives program. Again, like everyone else, no handouts, no advantages. Roxanne is based in Amsterdam, and I'm sure she'll tell you about that in a minute and introduce herself. But yeah, she's absolutely smashing it, and no doubt got a long way to go. Still got some systems to put into a business, which is looking promising moving forward. So, Roxanne, the floor is yours today. I just want to hear about you a bit and how you've succeeded in the program, or just your experience in the program. So, do you want to kick us off? Introduce yourself, tell us who you are, where you're from, what you do, etc.
Yes, of course. I'm Roxane. I'm French, but I'm based in Amsterdam. And I had like a lot of different career changes. Like I went to business school, worked in a company, and then I did a lot of different things. And I got into like video. I started with video editing, and then I got into production through like some internship and like a company where I was freelancing. And so I was doing a lot of bit of freelancing there, bit of freelancing over here, and it was always kind of inconsistent, and I didn't feel like I had a lot of negotiation power, and I was not always satisfied with the way that things were handed to me or how much it was paid, and I felt a bit powerless regarding that. So I thought with like 2 years of experience in production that I would try to do my own production system and that I will be the one talking to the clients and that I would hire the freelancers and make value and pay them well and have a good system so that they're happy to work with me. And I just trust myself to be in charge of these things. And conveniently enough, that's when you reached out to me to ask me about where I was in my business, if I wanted to take things like further, to scale it up a little. And I was definitely thinking about doing this. And I didn't know how much, where I needed to start. So I was quite confident when you told me about the program that this was for me. And then I joined quite quickly after we start talking. And since like I'm someone that needs a structure, like when I start being creative, like I like reading a book about a topic or something. So I know all the aspect before I get into it. So I was really happy when you handed me the program and I could just like get into it, understand the theory behind everything, understanding why I'm doing things, understanding why I'm charging this amount of money, understanding why people are going to work with me and how I'm going to bring value. Like that was really the first topic that I went into it was like how to add value with strategic videos, like how your video is going to bring value to your client. And that was really important to me to give me some confidence. So yeah, I'm very happy about joining the program and the community and the fact that you are available and that you can customize also the advice and just follow, like have a personalized follow up. But yeah, I hope that answers the question.
It certainly does. It answers my question, and it also answers a couple more questions that we're going to follow. So yeah, you did a good job of that. Okay, and it's lovely to hear your feedback as well. It really is. You know, gives me confidence as well in the whole process, and it's great to see everyone's success too. So yeah, lovely to hear. So next up, I think recent deals. Like, can you tell me about any recent deals you've had, and what you probably would have charged before? You got in the program and how the process probably would have gone compared to how the process went now having been in the program.
So in the beginning, when I was talking to clients, so I really had in mind what money I was given as a freelancer, which here in Amsterdam is like around 300 euros a day, like when you booked as a DOP or on set can be to 200 to 300 a day. And I was really putting myself into my clients' head, being like, oh, are they gonna want to, how much are they gonna pay for the video that I'm gonna make? like it's not going to be the best quality for the money or whatever. And I didn't know, like I was putting up some numbers and I was feeling a bit unconfident or insecure about charging even €1,000 for my video, like max. I think my first video I would charge 500 and still be a bit like, ooh, is it okay? And now I feel much more structured about the way that I charge, especially doing it like a few times, the quotation process. Like the first time takes a lot of time, like you have to go through all your costs and understanding how much margin you're supposed to, like the fact that you as a company, you have to have margin. And I discovered as well, because the more structured I am, the more regular costs I have, because you have to pay for subscriptions, like to upload your videos on Frame.io. You have to maybe pay for a website, like a lot of regular costs that you have, and also investments in your new gear or whatever, like whatever you want to invest in. So you need to have those margin to grow as a business. So I was trying to apply more and more of these margin, and it also really depends on the customer budget, and yeah, if you really want to work with them. But yeah, I think I started charging 500 for like a whole day of shooting or something. And now, how can I put it? Like, how can I compare it? But I think on the last shoot, on my last quotation, I charged 2,000 per video. And there are like 9 of them that I'm gonna shoot in 2 days. So overall, it gets to like 18,000 for a 2 days shoot, compared to 1,000 that I would charge before.
Yeah,
And yeah,
quite the jump. Quite the
it,
jump, quite the jump. It's I think with you, like a big thing is like you get that structure once you handle that. That's what something you needed, I think, more than anything else, was like that structure and just understanding the process and having that clarity. And once, like we were just saying before we started recording, your confidence is based on evidence, and you can't build that evidence without, going out and working, making things happen. And you can't really make things happen unless you've got that structure and clarity. So I think just having that first step, and then obviously our chats about, just be confident, just asking for this, and that's the sort of norm. That's what's done across the board. So why shouldn't you do it? And you've gone and done it, and yeah, like you say, 18 KD later. How are you feeling about it now?
yeah, no, it's amazing, but it's nice because with this money I can work with talented people. I'm comfortable with the shoot because I know I'm gonna have a good crew. I know I'm gonna have, good material. I can pay for a lot of stuff too. So it's less stress. I know that if I don't have time to edit, I can reach out to an editor. I, I charge for the value of it and a little bit more, and that gives me a lot of flexibility as well. And yeah, the experience of working in videography, I know a lot of talented people that I can pay fairly. So that's just great. When you pay people the right amount, then they show up and they're happy and they're creative. So that also
Yeah,
makes a difference.
yeah, big time. Company culture, although it's not necessarily a company day to day, but when you've got people working in an environment, the culture, making sure everyone's happy and nobody's complaining and then complaining to another crew member, and then people are sort of whispering, and that's such a negative environment. So that, paying people and paying people well, making sure people are happy, it just breeds more of that. It just grows, and it's just a positive thing. And having the budget in the first instance to be able to do that is such a positive thing. So that's great to hear you've been able to do that, and I'm sure it'll show in the project, and it won't only show in the project. If you've got that sort of energy on set, then the client's going to be happy as well, and the relationship will continue, definitely. So that's a great bit of feedback there. Okay, and what, like, obviously in the program we've got the course material, the one-to-ones with myself, and you got the community where you have group calls, and obviously we're on Slack. So what would you say has been the most helpful part of the program for you?
Alors, because I'm very structured, I really like to have that huge reference of the course material online, like with everything super detailed that I always can go back to. Like for me, it's really a backbone, and I'm also quite independent in general, so I'm happy to be able to process these. But then seeing people in the community sharing their sales call is really so valuable. Like could have never, seeing people's progress in their selling, it just show you that, oh, you can do it. Like you see that just in a few call, the confidence that they show in their sales call, it just makes it tangible. It makes you're like, okay, someone of this program did it, and he's showing me. Like it's so generous of him, to be honest, like so vulnerable to film himself and share it. Like it's so nice. Yeah, like, and also just having a bit of this structure because you work alone most of the time, so it's nice to catch up, talk to other people that have a bit of the same problematic, and you can ask them question, oh, by the way, how would you do this? Like you feel more safe than maybe with other people that you have to show confidence, you have to show that you know what you're doing, so you're a bit more hesitant, especially if they're like other people in your similar markets, like you don't want to show too much vulnerability. And here, like, we all over the world, so it's like very, there is no competition or whatsoever, so you can really ask, like, and be vulnerable. But yeah, seeing people showing their sales call is really amazing content.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Great. And I'm like I said this in a previous call like this. Like the community is it's become so much more valuable than I thought it would be. Like obviously it was an important part of the program, but when I launched it and then making sure everyone's coming to calls and sharing the different experiences, it's just it's not just me then helping you guys or me preaching to the choir all the time. It's you helping each other as well, which is as you just said, the value's massive. And I think the thing with discovery calls, sales calls, is if you're not used to it, and creatives in general, we're not salesy people. Like it's not why we got into videography at all. But I always say it's not why we got into it, but it's what's going to keep us in there, like understanding. And it's not really a salesy thing. Like we're not creative people aren't that way inclined. It's more of it's that's why I call it discovery call. It's more discovering about the client, learning about them, learning about their pain points, and then if you can help them, which most of the time you can with video, then great. If you can't, then be honest with them and say, I don't want to waste your time, waste your money, waste my time, and that's how it goes. And I think the thing with them is the more reps you do, the better you get at it. And it's just about everybody's first 5 or 10 discovery calls are gonna usually not be successful. They're gonna be a train wreck. But you just got to go through those to see the ones to get to the ones that are going to work. And that's the sales process. And I think like if everyone who's doing that just comes together and doesn't just it's hard work reviewing your own call, like looking at it and thinking, oh, that's terrible, and it's hard to look at. But that's one thing is watching your own stuff back or just watching it back with me, but then watching other people's stuff, even if they, some of the calls that have been shared have been really good. Some of them need a lot of work, but like you said, that vulnerability and being in that community from people all over the place, and that online community it's become so valuable. So I'm really glad to hear you've taken a lot of help out of that. Okay, cool. And then would you say there's any mindset shifts you had during your time in the program, or any that stand out?
Yeah, so what I'm working on is working structure. So I didn't really have the habits of doing things every day. Like I was more like waking up in the morning, let's start with coffee, and maybe if I feel like it, I'm gonna do some work, which I see is not very sustainable. So the tools in the program helps me to to get more structured. Like I still have progress to do, but at least I know where to start. Like there's a lot of tricks and a lot of things that are mandatory, like how you put it, that you cannot succeed if you don't put
Hmm.
those small steps in place that really, set up my priorities. I understand that, okay, if I don't do those small things, there's no way I can make it. So, and then I just look at my goals, like you advise, like I want to earn that amount of money. I want to have that many clients. If I don't do that tomorrow morning when I wake up, it's not going to happen. So that really helps.
Yeah, great. That's great to hear that. It's it like it sounds savage to some people, but you just gotta like there's a system here. This is what the input is, and then if you do this over time, this is what your output's probably going to be. And it just some strange law of human nature or whatever just says that sort of those sort of numbers check out with everyone. I don't know why they just do like so. If we know that we got confidence in that sort of law of averages, then it really gives you confidence in that exact process. So
Yeah.
great,
And I
brilliant
feel
mindset
like
shift.
so this course is targeted to videography, so it's perfect. But I feel like 90% could be applied to a lot of businesses, basically. It's just
Yeah,
that now the community are videographers, so that helps even further because we talk about which editing program we're going to use or like specific. Like it's great because most of people are going to get like a business coach and then some content about videography, but these are like both together.
yeah, yeah, and that's the idea, and it's like those sort of systems and ways to work, and there's that way of thinking, and having that mindset is just all the if you listen to podcasts or watch YouTube and stuff, and you listen to people who are involved in business in general, regardless of what it is, or like the sort of entrepreneurial space, they all say, they all carry that same mindset, and it's just a case of applying that to this specific industry. It's no different, really. There's different nuances in between about how we add that value. Obviously, we do it with video, but ultimately, it's no different to anything else. And I think like it's easy as a videographer when you're just going out there blind to think that, oh, we're creative, we're different, we do something different. And we do, of course we do. It's different in one way of thinking, but at the same time, if it's a business, it's not. So yeah, it's like that great, it's a good hybrid of the two, the creative and the sort of disciplined business world, like understanding those. And it is, whether we like it or not, those are the ingredients to succeeding. So yeah, great to hear that you've
Yes,
made
for
that
sure.
mindset shift. Yeah.
Because for a lot of people, like being an entrepreneur is a mystery. Like they see people doing it. And I think maybe for a lot of people is more natural. Like for me, I'm not a natural salesperson. If you're a natural salesperson, it's easier to be an entrepreneur.
Not many creative people are, to be honest.
Exactly. So just seeing on paper, if you do this, and this, you're gonna achieve it is like, oh, okay, well, the mystery is solved, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I like the way you put that. Okay, so your delivery, so in terms of like understanding this, I know we had a little chat about this just before we started recording, but the strategy now and being confident in the strategy itself, and then actually like obviously we got your appointment setting at the start, like towards high level clients, then like we say the sales process, understanding them, how you can help them, and then closing it for an amount of money that is relative to that value you add, and then um the world-class delivery. So that specifically, that last part, like how would you say that's changed now, and like what did your process look like in terms of strategizing how to deliver the most value with your clients?
So for me, the most of the change is in pre-production. Don't know if that makes sense to you.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I knew a bit, I already had like technical process on how to deliver things to the client. I mean, sometimes it's good because there is some little tricks or some little guidelines that is a bit reassuring, like, oh yeah, I'm doing the right thing. That's like market standards, so it's nice. But yeah, definitely the adding value in creating a video that has a target, an objective, and measure the performance of the video. But that speaks to me a lot because of doing business before. Like that's how I used to work, and it's very reassuring to me because then I can measure the value of the video. So really, that's what I'm dealing with the prospect right now. Like he wants a video to get funding for his company. So you cannot be more clear than that in terms of value. The better the video, the more money he's going to get for his company. So it's some pressure. You have to make a video that really triggers the investor to put the money out of his pocket and invest. And I think I had this talk with that client or like right before I joined the program, and I was disappointed because I was like, no, I just want to make the video. I don't want to do the strategy. Just tell me what you want and I will do the video. And then I started the program and you told me, no, actually the value is in the strategy and you have to bring that value to make money out of this business. So it's like, okay, thank God I got this call before so I can be like, yeah, let me take care of it. Like, I'll do the strategy. I know what I'm doing. Let me take care of your problem from A to B. Instead of before I was just like, I don't understand what this client wants. I just want to do the technical and creative stuff. This is really bothering me because I was lost. I didn't have the structure to answer his needs. And now that I understand that it is my role and that's how I bring value, is to make videos with an objective and not just like a visual product.
Yeah, yeah, of course. And like you said at the start of that pre-production, that is where it's at really. And I think with clients who, who you are going to work with, I think that the start of the pre-production is the first call really when you're discovering about them, and like they can see, hold on, I this person cares about me and it cares about, and they care about what my goals are and what I want to achieve. And that starts right from the start. And then by the end of the pre-production, you would have built, like we said before, building that solid creative brief with all the details in there that are included in like what their brand is, what's their brand voice, how do you communicate with their target audience, who are their target audience, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, all that strategy. And then also if they distribute in various places as part of a funnel, like what does their customer buyer journey look like, and how does video fit into each step of that. But in your case with this client, like he's doing it for his investors. So it's like, well, let's look at it from the investor's perspective. Why would you invest in this company? And let's focus on all those great points and make it as best as it can be. And he'd be, the more he invests in the more strategy and the higher production value, etc. He'd be silly not to really if he wants that that investment. So yeah, I mean, that's something we're going to work at moving forward in the next couple of calls. But yeah, cool. That's great. And then is there anything you'd say to anyone watching this, like in a similar position to where you were before you joined, who's thinking of jumping in?
Yes. um, yeah, I think honestly, it's if you don't know, how to start, if you feel like you're being passive with your video business or your creative business, and that you want to be more proactive, that you want to be that you want to define the rules of how people are gonna work on set, how much they're gonna get paid, and to define your own professional activity, then I think it's a good move because you have all the tools really. If you apply everything, it's gonna work, and then you can just adapt it. And I think that's what it's very important here, is like to be able to be independent and to create the work environment that you want to have for yourself and for others. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Cool. Yeah, fair advice. And yeah, that's great, Roxane. Thank you for having a chat with me this morning. And your progress has been amazing, and it's been great working with you. And long may it continue. So only ways up from here.
Yes, perfect.